Will subscribers to the store be re-rendered?
If you compose stores together?
Yeah, I'm thinking it was a minute ago they asked it, so it must have been during the.
Yeah, okay. So I'll answer that because I think that's an interesting question in itself, and then if they clarify otherwise. So this is one thing I do think Vue does really well because of the way the reactivity system is written with proxies. Vue very rarely to be honest, I know React deals with this a lot, which is you have some state derived from this other state, and because this state updates, it triggers the re-render on this other state, and so it's like a performance thing that they frequently have to deal with. But to be honest, for those of us that use Vue, that's actually honestly, I don't ever think it's an issue. Just because, again, because Vue understands that yes, you're composing your stores together. They're dependent on each other. But if it's not in a context where rendering is necessary, it shouldn't, unless you're triggering an update that goes up that way, intentionally, you're really just calling a value to derive another value. And so they're usually very good about, and so that's one of the things that if you haven't heard about Vue Vapor, this is a big thing that's coming to basically we're going to be able to render your project without the virtual DOM. And the performance boosts on this are supposed to be quite promising benchmark-wise. And so because the whole idea is that you're supposed to be able to differentiate when a value actually is going to touch a template like the tree versus just a value that's in some sort of dependency tree. And so I know Evan and the team have done a lot of granular work to figure out ways to really make sure that you don't get random triggering of re-rendering and that kind of thing. So again, if you all are, for those who want to be very forward-facing and keep up to date with the latest greatest, definitely follow Vue Vapor to find out what everyone's doing. It's pretty cool. Is that what the audience member was asking about?
That's exactly what they were asking.
Okay.
And they said they face this a lot in React.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, one of the things that we see a lot of frameworks doing these days is, honestly, if you've looked at Angular, Solid, Svelte, it does seem like a lot of the modern frameworks are starting to converge in terms of the ideas, and they seem to agree in terms of reactivity principles. Angular jumped on board with this too. So if Angular, Solid, Vue, I think Svelte's on here too. I think all four are on board with signals. So that's basically an agreed reactivity approach. And then there is this general sense that computed, which is a derived part of state that has built-in memoization and then optimizations in it, is a key part because as developers, that's what we're doing half the time. We have a single source of truth. We derive stuff, we derive stuff, we derive stuff. We don't really want to have to deal with the memoization and the caching that deals in that. We have other things to worry about. And so I think if you're looking at the proposals on the web or TC39 and stuff, there's a native signals proposal, but then within the individual frameworks, I think Angular right now is calling it link signals. I think Solid did too, but they're all. It's really cool to see a lot of these frameworks starting to centralize, and kind of agree on what is a best practice for the web. So that is super exciting.